What's up, everybody? This is the Dean Parker. I'm here to do a review video for Halloween Horror Nights 27, and I'm also going to showcase some of my merchandise. Now, I apologize if I haven't done a video in a long time, and when I say a long time, do I mean a long time? I haven't done a video since the HHN updates that I was doing when I first started my channel, so I haven't done a video in a long time, so this is awesome. I want to apologize. I am doing this from my Surface Pro, so when I show you the stuff, it may be backwards, but you can tell what it is, because I'm also going to show you my merchandise. So first, I'm going to show, for people who didn't see it, before I start my review, I'm going to start with the map. There's the map. Like I said, to you guys, it may seem, actually it looks kind of good. So that's the map. Inside you got like the survival tips and like a review and like a little preview of the merchandise. And then inside you got the layout of the event right there. Before I go into my review, I'm just gonna say this. I've been going to Halloween Horror Nights for 6 years, this marking my 6th year. I started going in 2012 when Walking Dead was like the main premise of Halloween Horror Nights, and this year was honestly one of the best I've ever experienced. It was one of the most darkest that I've ever seen Halloween Horror Nights. The houses were phenomenal. The scare zones were amazing. I want to give props to the scare actors. And I want to give props to the people who created the houses. The houses, like I said, were phenomenal this year. You gotta give them props to the constructors who put all their hard work into making the sets and to making, these horror movies come to life. So, without further ado, I'm going to get into my review now for this year. Now, I rated every single house on a scale of 0 skulls to 10 skulls. 10 skulls being the highest, and of course 0 or lower being, well, terrible. I did change my reviews, my numbers, throughout the year, because I have gone back multiple times, so I changed the numbers. So, starting with, this is how I broke it down. I got the houses first, the scare zones second, and the shows last. So, without further ado, here is my HHN review list. With American Horror Story Mark II, I gave that one a rating of 10 skulls out of 10. This house was amazing. It had the smells, it had the scenes from Coven, Asylum, and the recent season, Roanoke. I recently just started with American Horror Story, and the show is phenomenal. The characters are amazing, the actors they do a phenomenal job with their parts and their roles. And I was able to point out everything from Asylum. And so, I was able to point out Pepper, I was able to point out Death. Oops, spoilers. Sorry. But the house was amazing. It was the Uber maze, as Horror Nights fanatics say. This maze is the one that's the longest maze of the year, and it's also the biggest maze. This one was phenomenal. It was really you had the smells and everything. So for the scares and for the environment of the house, again, I give this a rating of 10 skulls out of 10. Moving on to The Shining, Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. This is another one that people were looking forward to, because this was the first time that this was being used that Universal was using this as a property for Halloween Horror Nights. So a lot of people, I think, were looking forward to it. And I went through it multiple times. I did get good scares, but I didn't get that many, scares. The house itself was designed good. And so for that, I give The Shining a horror rating of 9.5 out of 10 skulls. For Ash vs. Evil Dead, now this is stars Ash vs. Evil Dead. For people who don't know what Evil Dead is, you were not around when it was out. Evil Dead is a great horror movie series. And this is for people that are fans of like the first one, the second one, and Army of Darkness. Now, don't hate me for this, but the only Evil Dead that I've seen is the one that came out in 2013. But when I heard about Ash vs. Evil Dead, I jumped right onto the series, and I loved it. It's funny, it's comical. The house itself was amazing. Every night you go in there, the people that were playing Ash were on point. You know, you would go through, they would give you high fives and everything, and I saluted them, and they saluted right back, and it was awesome. Now, this year, this was the comedy house of the year. It was funny, and there were some good scares as well. So for that, I give Ash vs. Evil Dead a rating of 10 skulls out of 10 for scares and comedy. Moving on to Saw, the Games of Jigsaw. Now, this house was done in 2009 during Halloween Horror Nights 19, ripped from the silver screen. This was the year before the 20th anniversary, where the Usher was the icon for Halloween Horror Nights 19 in 2009. This house was good. I watched all of the Saw movies, and I know that the one that was done in 2009 only used some of the Saw movies and some of the traps. This one had all the traps from the first one to the 8th one, and also included a trap from the new one, which is Jigsaw. Now, I'm going to explain why I gave when I tell you what I gave it, I'm going to explain the reason why. So I gave Saw a rating of 7.5 skulls out of 10. The reason why I gave that, I did get good scares, but the only scares that you're getting is how you're reacting to the people reacting in the traps. Those are the only things that are scaring you. And of course, you got Jigsaw popping out at multiple times. So those are the only things that are like scaring you. Next one is Blumhouse. Now, this one is called The Horrors of Blumhouse. This one was cool to see because it was kind of like, it had the concept of American Horror Story, where it featured 3 films done by Blumhouse Studios. And the films that were featured in it were Sinister, The Purge, and Insidious. One of those movie series I would watch. The other 2, can't get around to watching them because it's too scary. Sinister, I've seen clips, I saw trailers, and Insidious, heck no. My rating, I gave it a 10 out of 10 skulls. Those were, it was a fun house. There were some really good scares in there that really got me. Each night I went in, the cast that was in that house was phenomenal. So, those are my reviews for the IP houses, and now we are moving on to the original houses. The original houses this year were amazing. None of them let down, and that's why the scores that I gave are true to what they are. And at the end, I will also announce the house and the Scare Zone that won House of the Year and Scare Zone of the Year. But now I'm going to get into the ratings for the original houses. So, for Fallen, I like to say that this one was a combination of 2 houses from Horror Nights past. In Halloween Horror Nights 24, there was a house called, no, it's not 24, I'm sorry. It was Halloween Horror Nights 22, and I remember because it was the first year I went. And it was a house called Gothic, where you were walking into a church and the gargoyles came to life to protect their sacred land. There's also another house, I forget what year it was, but it was called Catacombs. So a lot of people were saying when the rumor mill was moving along and everything, that this house was a combination of Catacombs and Gothic. And it's called The Fallen. And it's a battle of light and dark. This house was phenomenal. The sets were huge, and the scares were amazing. They had flying scare actors dressed as demons that would swoosh past you. They had someone that was like a meat grinder like person. So for that, I give The Fallen a 10 skulls out of 10. Moving on to another fantastic original house this year. This house is called Dead Waters. What can I say about this house? It's phenomenal. It was amazing. Again, sets were huge. Walking into the house, the facade that you are seeing when you're walking into the house is huge. You're walking into a giant sinking riverboat, a huge paddle boat. And you get 2 scares right before you even enter the house. This house was taken from a scare zone in 2004 called Bayou of Blood. 2014. I am so sorry, not 2004. In 2014, there was a scare zone called Bayou of Blood, and it was ran by the Voodoo Queen. Now, the Voodoo Queen had a show where they would do a human sacrifice. But there were some things that occurred that people didn't find appealing about the show, and they actually canceled the little show that happened. So they brought back the idea, and they used it as a house this year, and it was phenomenal. So for the sets and the scares, I give Dead Waters a rating of 10 skulls out of 10. Moving on to The Hive. This one was also another one that was amazing. I like to say this was Universal's haunted house for the Vamp 55 scare zone that was in last year with Halloween Horror Nights 26. But it's not entirely the same as what that scare zone had. This haunted house is based off of the 80s or way back with Nosferatu. And it was amazing. The black light, they had contacts that would glow in the dark with the black light, and it was cool. And the sounds in there were amazing as well. The facade made it look like you were walking into a movie poster, and the music kind of sounded like Stranger Things. But I give it a rating of 10 skulls out of 10 for being phenomenal and being such an amazing house, and of course being a vampire lover. It was awesome. Next, and the final original house. What can I say about this one? The one that I'm talking about right now, and it's hard for me to bring it out because it was such an amazing house, is Scarecrow the Reaping. From the moment I walked into that house, I knew it was going to be a good one. The scares were amazing. Wall to wall, there were scare actors coming at you. It was dark and it was claustrophobic. And just the amount of scares that were being produced in that house was just... It left you speechless as you walked out. Now, this is one of the houses that took place in the tents, just like Hive also took place in the tents. And this one, I can't go on about it because how amazing it was. I actually had to go beyond, and instead of just giving it a regular 10, I gave it a super 10 skulls out of 10. So this is the highest, golden skull, like a crystal skull of skulls. So, that is it for the houses. Now we are moving on to the scare zones this year. The scare zones this year, again, were phenomenal. There were some good ones, and there were some bad ones. Starting off with a returning one that was also in 2014. This is The Purge. This was a combination of all 3 movies, Purge Election Year, and the other Purge, Anarchy. Purge Anarchy. That was a combination. So you had a bunch of different things, and you also had the auction show that returned from 2014 as well. There were good scares, but it was mainly like a show zone. I did give it a 10 out of 10 skulls. I don't know if they're going to bring back the Purge. They might. I don't know. I don't know what's up Universal Sleeve. Moving on to the first scare zone that you see when you're entering the park, which is Altars of Horror. This scare zone got you ready to see what you would experience as at the houses. And they were mainly based off of the characters from the IP houses, and you got to take pictures with them, and they scared you. But this one featured like the characters from American Horror Story, The Shining, Ash vs. Evil Dead, Saw, and Blumhouse. I give this one a 9.5 out of 10 skulls. It was fun, but it wasn't like full-on scare. Next is Invasion. This one was just amazing. It was an alien-themed scare zone, and it was so much fun. Just walking around, seeing like the alien queens and the alien monsters, and the generals that have been abducted and everything. They had like things on them that was blinking, and the UFO at night. There was a UFO. And it was amazing. Because of that, it gets a 10 skulls out of 10 skulls. Now moving on to Trick or Treat. This one took place in the Central Park area of the park. Such a phenomenal house. Truly phenomenal. Scare zone, sorry. This scare zone was amazing. They had all these pumpkins in the trees that were literally hand carved, and they were all lit up. The scare actors were amazing, and there were good scares in that zone. So I give that one a super 10 out of 10 skulls. Moving on to Festival of the Deadliest. This one is considered the icon zone. Even though there was no icon this year, there was one person inside of the scare zone that kind of acted as this icon, and his name was Big Daddy Bone. Or Bone Daddy, or just Bones, however you want to call him. He was the Grim Reaper and everything. This scare zone was fun. It was a really fun scare zone to walk through. And I give that a 10 out of 10. So that is houses and scare zones down. We got one more category, and then we're moving on to my merchandise. The final thing is shows. Starting off with Academy of Villains. It was called the Irma Show, or After Irma. Originally it was supposed to be called Afterlife, but down here in Florida we had a storm pass through called Hurricane Irma. And what happened was Hurricane Irma actually destroyed the stage. So once they got through the into the third week, they couldn't put up their regular stage and they didn't have time to do their show. But I really give props to the Academy of Villains dance team. They threw together this wonderful and amazing, energetic show that they still put on for the Horror Nights audience. And they stepped up. They did a phenomenal job. And there were some fun elements of it. They had a dance battle section that was fun. I actually got to take part of it. And it was just last year's show was amazing, and this year's was even better. Like I said, again, I give props to American Academy of Villains for performing their show and making it awesome. So for that, I give them a super 10 out of 10. Oh God, this one is kind of sad to talk about, guys. For 26 years, including this year, this show has been phenomenal. And I'm not gonna get emotional, but the one that I'm talking about Bill and Ted. Bill and Ted's Excellent Halloween Adventure 2017, the farewell tour. What can I say? Like I said, I've only been going since 2011. 2012. And just to be there to see the show. I saw the show 3 times this year. That was the most I've ever seen the Bill and Ted show. And to be in the crowds, to feel the emotion that everyone was feeling. There was a lot of upsetness. And the references that they made this year was awesome. And to give props also to that team to need to change their show in occurrence to what has occurred this year with some of the events. But it's sad that it's over. And the show was, it was a safe haven for people that was afraid of Halloween Horror Nights, that they got to go and they got to laugh. But I send out a message to all the team of Bill and Ted out there. I just want to say thank you. And honestly, what they say is right. Be excellent to each other and, just party on. But enough with the emotional. I don't want to make everyone sad or anything. But yes, score 10, super 10 out of 10 for their 26-year run, and congratulations to them. So, okay, we are now done with the review, and now we're moving on to the fun part. I'm moving on to my merchandise. I think I bought too much Halloween Horror Night stuff this year. I bought way too much. So first, this was kind of cool that I saw them do. They were selling wallets this year. They had a regular bifold wallet, and then they were selling clutch wallets for women. I got the regular wallet. That is terrible lighting right there. So you got Halloween Horror Nights over here, and then you got the skull of Daddy Bone right there. And it's a buckle down wallet. So that's a nice one. It's a nice wallet. Then you got the keychain. You got red rubies in the eyes. And then on the back it says Halloween Horror Nights 2017. Next are the pins. And these are honestly, I believe, aside from 2015, these are some of the best pins I've ever seen. So you got the main event pin, which says Halloween Horror Nights on the bottom. And then the mouth actually moves. So you got that. You got the Uni Mini figure for this year, which is a Grim Reaper, which actually glows in the dark. And then this is the UOAP pass holder pin. So I have another shirt as well that I'm going to show you guys. I got other stuff too. So that's the pins. That's the pins. There were 3 pins this year. Next, this was the first year that I bought shot glasses from Halloween Horror Nights. So this is the main key art shot glass. Now there were 2 versions of this shot glass. There was a matte version and then the glossy version. The guy told me to get the glossy version because the color will last longer. On the matte one, the color will not last longer. Next one is, again, Gang with Bill and Ted. I got the Bill and Ted shot glass that says Farewell Dudes, and then on the back it says Bill and Ted's Excellent Halloween Adventure, Halloween Horror Nights 2017. So there's that. This year was also the first year that I bought the poster. So this is the key art poster for Halloween Horror Nights. Now, I'm not, well, I'm gonna be 21 soon, but I had a friend who got me this cup. They had 2 cups this year that they were selling for, like, the alcoholic beverages. This one is the split cup. As you can see, it's split down. And this one is what you got if you ordered the Midnight Madness, which was a mix of Liquid Courage and Liquid Fear. And it lights up blue. Ooh, that captures wonderfully. Next on the merchandise list that I got was the first time I bought the Tervis for this year. So you got the bone on the front, the skull, and then on the other side you got Halloween Horror Nights 2017. Next, I got the Uni Mini figure of the Grim Reaper of Daddy Bones. So you got him in there. And then you got Halloween Horror Nights Universal Studios. Also, another thing, first time this year, I bought the hat. So on the front, you got the skull. There's some like bejeweled on there. You got some green and red down here. On the side, Halloween Horror Nights 2017. And on the back it says, "Your soul is requested." Second time purchasing this item in years. I got the phone case. This fits the iPhone 7S Plus, the 7 Plus, and the 6 Plus. One more before I move on to the shirts. I got the lanyard. This is a nice lanyard. This is a dual-sided lanyard. So there you go. And now moving on to the shirts. I'm going to start with the house shirt this year. So you got this shirt, and in the corner it says Halloween Horror Nights 2017. And then on the back you got all the houses, including the logo for Academy of Villains. This is the key art shirt. It says, "Your soul is requested," and then Halloween Horror Nights 2017 at the bottom. Next up is the t-shirt for Bill and Ted's Excellent Halloween Adventure. Farewell Dudes, Halloween Horror Nights 2017. Farewell Tour on the back. And then the final shirt is the UOAP Halloween Horror Nights 27 shirt. This is the annual pass holder shirt. Next I'm just going to show you some little knickknacks that I got. So I got an Ash vs. Evil Dead Funko Pop. Got that in the Tribute store. And then also in the Tribute store, I bought the Light Up cane. The Light Up Skull cane, which also detaches as a sword. Comes with 3 modes. You got this one, got that one, got that one. So, and one more merchandise item that I don't have right now because they're being cleaned. I bought the socks. I bought the socks for this year for Halloween Horror Nights. So, but that is basically everything. That is my video. What can I say overall again about this year? It was phenomenal. I'm impressed with everything that Universal did this year with Halloween Horror Nights 2017. I cannot wait until 2018. I wish we had the first announcement now. But we don't. But yeah, this has been a great year, and it's sad to see that it's over. But you know what? We got Christmas coming up now. So, what can I say? Stay tuned. I might be doing a video to showcase the decorations that are up in Oz Adventure and Universal. Because I heard from a bird that the Christmas tree is up at Universal already. So that means Christmas is right around the corner for Universal. Actually, starting November 18th is when the Christmas stuff begins at Universal. But that is it for my video. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked what you saw in this video, make sure to please drop a like and comment down below. And if you want to see more stuff, please subscribe. I'll start posting more videos now. I feel bad that I left you guys with no videos in a long time. But I'm looking for more subscribers. But like I said, drop a like. And if you're a big fan of Halloween Horror Nights, please comment, put down what your review list is for Halloween Horror Nights, and for just for funsies, throw out what your favorite piece of merchandise was from this year's event. Okay? Thank you again for watching. See you guys later. Peace out. Bye.